And welcome back, everyone, to the Blue Trouser Brewery. I am Owen, and I am bringing you another beer review from a very kind gentleman north of the border, Mr. Derek Hodge. Kindly sent me 3 of his beers, and he sent me a pale ale, which I have already enjoyed. So thank you for that one, Derek. But he also sent me a Hefeweizen, which doesn't have any more details than that, but I think it will be in a normal ABV range for Hefeweizen. And he also very kindly sent me the very last bottle in a nice scroll swing top bottle of his raspberry wheat beer, which my good friend Chris Millington happened to drink on one of our podcasts and was raving about it. So I'm very excited to try this as well. I've got my favourite Daya glass. Whoop! Everyone knows I'm a Daya fanboy. So, which to go first? I think I might go Hefeweizen first. Now, by the looks of things, the light's not brilliant in here, but it looks like this beer has cleared up quite a bit, so I'm going to just give it a little agitation, a little roll, as they would do traditionally in Germany with a Weissbier. My German accent's not very good, I'm afraid. And just bring that yeast back into suspension. This style is absolutely about the yeast. So let's crack it open. Hopefully not cover myself in beer, because I've just rolled it everywhere. Nope, we're good. We're good. It's definitely carbonated. So label out. Thanks again, Derek. Let's give this baby a pour. So what are we expecting from a good Hefeweizen? So as I said, you're expecting this to be pushing a lot of yeast-driven flavour, a lot of yeast esters, and typically what's associated with that style will be banana and clove. And that is exactly what I'm going to be looking for. So appearance-wise, we've got a nice, ever so slightly cloudy, very straw, yellow-coloured beer. So it looks a little darker on camera than it actually is. Give it a little whiff. So off the nose, I'm getting probably a little more clove than banana, but both are very present. Carbonation looks excellent, streaming up the side of the glass. Not much in the way of head, to be honest, but it is very cold. Smells good. So here's to you, Derek. Thank you very much for sending the beers to me. Bottoms up. Now the carbonation, I'm going to talk about the carbonation briefly. Like the style, the Hefeweizen style should be a highly carbonated style. I think it should be in the region of 3 to 3.4 volumes of CO2. Don't quote me on that, that's off the top of my head. And that carbonation is hitting on the point. It's effervescent on the tongue. It really lifts that yeast flavour, and it's super refreshing. There is a gorgeous clove flavour in there. Now, if anyone watches the Hob Edition, you may have heard, watch, hear, listen to the Hob Edition, You've probably heard my escapades with this style of beer. I have brewed this style of beer 4 times now. 3 times they've gone down the drain. The 4th time is still in the keg, and in the keys are right next to me, and I'm not particularly happy with it. And I won't be surprised if that 4th one goes down the drain as well. It is a style that I am going to have to keep trying to perfect. I don't know why I'm struggling with it so badly. It's just my nemesis. But Derek, you, sir, have clearly not had trouble with this style, because that is very, very enjoyable. It's not too banana-y. It has got nice balance between the banana and clove. In the past, when I've brewed it, it's just been too much clove. I've messed up fermentation temperature, yada yada. That is just really nicely balanced, Derek. Thank you. It's just, there's something in that clove flavour that is really complex. I don't know if it's the fact that it's been in the bottle a little while or what. I'm not an expert on Hefeweizens, but it has a really interesting dimension, a very pleasant dimension to that clove flavour. You can tell the carbonation's high. I'll tell you what it is. There's a bubblegum ester. That's what I'm getting. There's clove and there's bubblegum. I can't say I've really had that bubblegum flavour come through as strongly in a beer as it does in this. And it really is like nailing that kid bubblegum flavour, that childhood bubblegum flavour, and really like it. I really like it. Yeah, that's what was in there. That was the complexity I referred to, if you could refer to as a childhood bubblegum flavour as complex. I'm not sure if you could, but maybe I'll edit that bit out. But that's a cracker, Derek. Thank you very much. Wow, that didn't last long. Up next, this is the raspberry wheat, and straight away I can see that this is absolutely crystal clear. Now, I'm not going to give it a roll and all of that. I actually quite want to enjoy it with this nice clarity now. As soon as I open it, it might kick up all the yeast from the bottom. No, it hasn't. I should really change glasses. I apologise, Derek. Let's give this a pour. Oh, wow. That colour is on point. I mean, that... Have you ever drunk Tizer? If you have, well, bad luck, because Tizer's fucking horrible, but that looks almost exactly like Tizer. It's crystal clear, it's got a absolutely amazing red, pink hue to it, and that looks like a beer I really want to drink. I think it looks really good with the old Daya Crocodile. Congratulate myself on that. So let's give it a little sniff. Little sniff test. Now, I'm not getting much on the nose. I'm getting tiny hint of raspberry. It may be just how cold the beer is. It's come out of my fridge, it's very cold. Yeah, I'm getting little hints of raspberry there. So not much to report on the nose. Carbonation again looks pretty high, streaming up the side. No head. Absolutely no head at all. But perhaps that is because of the fruit, I don't know. Oh, wow. That was one fizzy beer. So, cheers, Derek. Thank you very much for sending me the very last of this beer. It shall be enjoyed and witnessed. Thank you, sir. Okay, yeah. I mean, that was a journey in itself through that. You know, you drink a beer and it's up the front, it's got something, and then it turns into something else, and then it rolls on to something different, and then you swallow it, and then, anyway, going off on one. I mean, I'm going to have another gulp. So up front, you immediately get this really pleasant, almost sweet raspberry thing going on. It's intensely raspberry. And it then moves into a more bitter, almost in the middle of the tongue. Some bitterness takes over, but not hoppy bitterness, a kind of like the seeds of a raspberry. You know how those can be a little bit bitter, and I guess that's where it's coming from. And then it kind of flattens out, it plateaus in a kind of really clean, refreshing way, almost like a soda, like a flavoured soda. You know, it's almost like I could be fooled into thinking that this isn't beer. Right, you could tell me that perhaps it might be cider or a hard seltzer. Not that I think I've possibly ever had one of those, but it's what I imagine it might be like. It's really pleasant. It's, again, super high carbonation. It's a very not thin body, but the body is quite dry, so it brings you back for another gulp, which is really pleasant. So it's quite a refreshing beer. It's probably the wrong time of year to be drinking this sort of beer, but who really cares? I think if this would be a perfect summer beer, a really perfect summer beer. I think I might need to add a raspberry wheat beer onto my list for the summer. Yeah, I'll do that. I think for me, maybe that bit in the middle, the bitterness part, was not as pleasant as it could be. Just objectively speaking. but it is nicely balanced out, so it doesn't detract from the overall experience of drinking this beer. The upfront raspberry thing really carries it through. So Derek, those are two very, very good beers. You should be proud of that effort. They're really, really pleasant, and I will thank you again, sir, for posting them to me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go finish this beer, and I shall bid you a good night. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.